Hello and welcome back. I'm going to show you how to, this is probably a multiple series kaleidoscope build. I'm going to show you how to design a kaleidoscope. It's going to be made out of wood, and I'm going to start with the basics and probably again have multiple episodes of this in order to go through it. I'm hoping to show you a number of kaleidoscope related techniques and skills, and make this interesting, yet if you decide to follow it, that you'll come out with a very nice attractive kaleidoscope. So let's get busy. What I'd like to do is create a basic design of a kaleidoscope, and I'm going to make it what I call a stave format out of wood. There are a number of good videos out there on YouTube that show you how to make stave items, which are basically strips glued together to make a barrel. I'm going to start with a basic design. I'm going to draw a line on a piece of paper. Hopefully you can follow this and see it. Can you see that? Let's see if dark ink will work better. Yeah, it's a little bit better. Then what I'm going to do is take my protractor, and I'm going to make a mark that is 90 degrees and one that's right in the center of this, and there is a center point here, and I'll mark it, and then I'll mark one out here at 90 degrees. That gives me 90 degrees from both sides, so we'll check that that's correct. Now if I draw that line, I have 4 equal quadrants, which 4 and quadrant mean the same thing, and I apologize for that. I could just make a piece here, and piece here. That'd be a square tube, which is fine, but I'd like to give it a few more pieces. I'd like to make it actually 3 in each quadrant. So if I take my 90 degrees and I happen to divide that by 3, that would actually be 30 degrees each. So I need one at 60, and one at 30. Okay. I can draw that through my center point, or I can come over here and draw them. I'm just going to draw them through my center point again. And now I want to do it in this quadrant and this quadrant by again put my compass protractor right on the line and marking again my 60 and my 30. And running those again through the center. And I can use this again if I want to, but I'm just showing this for this specific design. So that has me having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 sectors that I'm now going to make into the parts of a kaleidoscope. I would like to have an interior of about 2 inches, so I'll come here and I'll mark it 2 inches, 1 inch either side of the center, on all of these. And matter of fact, I'll put it on 2 because it's actually more accurate that way. Mark it the 3 and the 1. I can make this larger if I want, and I can design it here that way, but I want 2 inches. I'm using just half of that for one side and half for the other, so 2 inches gives me 1 inch on both sides. And now I'm just going to draw those lines together, give me an approximation of what the interior will look like. And it doesn't have to be a perfect circle on the inside. The outside doesn't have to be perfect either, but we can do that with various devices. Now, I'm not taking my mirrors in consideration here. I could have actually gone ahead and designed my mirrors and then made this large enough to hold the mirrors. Instead, I'm going to design the body and then put my mirrors inside of it. Design my mirrors for the body. And I'm making it out of wood because of the fact that there's a lot of woodworkers and you can learn a lot about woodworking online. There would be about a 2-inch diameter interior. Actually a little bit less than a 2 from here to here, but that is alright. Now what I'm going to do is find out approximately how wide that is by measuring a couple of these locations. And so far it looks like it's a 1/16 over a half. The 1/16 greater than a half. So that would be 9/16. So if I make my inside about 9/16, or I make it about a half of an inch, it'll be close to my 2-inch circle. That will be determined by my sawing skills and my saw capability. Next step is for me to find the thickness of my material. But now I'll have to go get the material that I plan to use, measure it, and determine about how thick this is going to be. So I shall be shutting it off right now and doing that. I have 12 pieces of walnut that I've cut up, and even though each piece is like 30 degrees from the other, you have to divide that in half. So this is actually a 15-degree cut on one side and a 15-degree cut on the other one, and that'll allow it to go into a complete circle as you put the pieces together. Now I'm going to assemble those pieces, I hope, by gluing. So I'm going to lay down some duct tape. Lay the pieces back down. Remember, that's 15 degrees. Let's cut off each side. Then we just start bringing it together. Always seems a little easier. Somebody else does it. in my case, I need to probably align the inside because that's where I'm basing my angles off of. Still a little off. I saw it was probably a little off, but there we go. Now I'm going to go ahead and tape it some more. Let me widen this view. I'm going to tape it some more. And if I had the appropriate tools, I'm pretty sure I could have made this much more accurate than what I did. But it'll work. And just for the sake of it, I'm going to put some tape right around the middle. Now I'm going to clean up my surface and I'm going to let this dry. And there's our, at this time, relatively working body tube. It's kind of large, but that's alright. So now that the glue is dried, I'm going to take this apart. I do have to say that my 15-degree angles were not perfect. Hopefully I won't have to do anything to fix that. I don't think I will. But this makes the end of the first part of this episode. Yes, this will be a multi-series or multi-part episode because I don't want to overwhelm you with all of the videos and time. But here is our walnut tube. You see it's made out of walnut and it's a tube. I could, if it was a little bit better assembled, I could just clean up the glue marks on it and smooth it down and still leave these edges this way. I don't want to. I'd rather clean it up. The other option is on cleaning it up, I can make it rounder. Actually, because of thick this is, I could make it in a variety of shapes. Those are all options. That's something need to be determined by the artist. I'm just planning on showing you one method, just one method of rounding this tube in the next episode, smoothing it out, making it pretty well round. And then in later episodes we'll cut it, make the turning object chamber, I hope a turning object chamber on it, and finish it up. But for right now, this is it. Again, if you had a lathe, you could turn it on a lathe. If you have other equipment, such as a router designed to cut or to smooth things into a circle, which maybe later I'll show you how to make one of those. But again, you could also just file and sand this. So next episode will be turning this to where it is round. Come back for the next episode. Find out how well I do on that and how pretty this looks. So please come back. Thanks.